And we're live. Welcome to Christian Indie Authors Interviews. I'm your host, Pastor George, part of the leadership team for the Christian Indie Authors Network, a complete network dedicated to helping Christian indie authors and readers connect. You can find us at www.christianindieauthors.com and on Facebook. Just type Christian Indie Authors, parentheses, CIA in your search box. Tonight, my guest is a first-time author, Rhonda Stalb, and she's author of the book Beautifully Broken, My Journey to a Mended Heart. Welcome, Rhonda.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
So let's get started right away with our questions. And first off, tell us about your book, Beautifully Broken.
Beautifully Broken, it's a memoir, and it tells the story of my life. And it's a journey to healing, story of how God, He takes us on, He takes those ugly things and He turned them into a beautiful masterpiece, and He heals and He loves us through the pain and all those trials. He doesn't leave or forsake us.
You good with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Second question is, why did you decide to write?
Well, I figured there might be someone who...
Wait. We're not ready yet. I'm just telling you what it was so you could get it up.
Sorry.
Okay.
You're going to cut
All
that
right.
out.
Yeah, this will all be part of what's cut out. You ready?
Okay, yes. Wait, hold on. Sorry.
Okay.
Oh, Paul. Anyway.
All right. Here we go. So tell us, why did you decide to write Beautifully Broken?
Well, I figured there might be other people who have been abused or have been through tragic marriages or who have had childhood experiences with abuse and trauma, and how God can use that. I just wanted them to know that they're not alone, that there are many people in their same boat, and God can heal anyone.
I agree. That's an awesome answer. Okay, next one. Ready? Is why?
Why did you choose the title?
Yep, why the title? Yep, that's what we're going to do. Why did you choose it, and what does it mean? So we're just going to do both. Did you separate those two, or do you still have them together as one?
I have them together as one.
Awesome, because that's what how we're going to do it, together as one. Okay. So here we go. So, Rhonda, why did you choose the title Beautifully Broken, and what does that title mean to you?
Well, I chose that title, Beautifully Broken, My Journey to a Mended Heart, because, like I said before, He takes those broken pieces of our lives, and He makes them into a beautiful work of art, a masterpiece, His masterpiece. And He, it's all for His glory, and He deserves all the glory. And, He awards us with His peace, and we give Him those broken pieces. And when we allow Him to heal us, and we give ourselves when we give ourselves to Him, He gives us that peace that is beyond our understanding. I could be falling apart right now, but I'm not, because Christ is my strength.
Awesome answer. All right, so next is readers, what you're hoping they're going to get out of this, okay?
Okay.
I think that's a really great answer, and I agree with you. It's definitely important that people know that God will take their broken pieces and turn it into something wonderful and amazing. So tell us, what are you hoping readers will take away from Beautifully Broken?
Well, I want them to know that they're not alone. God cares about them so much. We have a God that loves us so much that He sent his son to die for us, and he went through the ugliest suffering, and our suffering is pale compared to that. So, those ugly things we can enjoy in Christ and his sufferings, and he is not um he's not oblivious to our suffering because he knows how we feel. So he can relate to us, he can empathize with us, and he's there for us. We can overcome our trials because of his power and his strength.
All right, next one.
You're gonna cut out the part where I'm like reaching. Can you
Yeah,
cut out
yeah.
the
This
part?
part is all gone.
Okay.
I tell you what. When it's done, before I make it public, I will make it so just you and I can see it, and I will send you the finished product to take a look at, and
Okay.
both of the complete interview as well as your trailer. Okay.
Okay.
All right. And here's the thing. I was going to try to get your trailer finished tonight so you could get it up, but until that other cover goes live, I can't.
Which other cover? The Kindle one?
Yeah, because that's the cover I'm using, and I
Um,
don't want to put the old cover up, and then when your trailer goes live, they can't find the book.
I think I just got an email saying that it's live.
Okay, I will check it, but I mean that's all I'm waiting on. That would be all I would be waiting on. If it's live, that's awesome. I can download a copy of it and shoot it right in there. I just didn't want to put it up with the other cover because people will go, once the switch is made, people will go and look, and videos, once I hit finish in my movie thing, it's really a hassle to go back in and change anything. So so what we're going to do now is, next question is going to be, what was the hardest part emotionally about writing such a personal story? And that's the way I'm going to say it, such a personal story.
Okay.
And I think I'm going to preface that by saying that I've read your book and that you really, from, like I did last night, from early childhood, you went through a lot, right up until just recently. And that's the way I'm going to put it, just recently. And then I'm going to ask you, so tell me, what was the hardest part emotionally about writing such a personal story? And that's the way we'll do that. So that way you're not off put by it. What was our last question, by the way? Oh, yep. Never mind, because I'm going to make a little comment about that too. So, when we piece it all together, it looks like one cohesive interview, not like we're stopping and starting and stopping and starting.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that's awesome that you want to use your story to show other people how that God can do such miraculous things in people's life. Speaking of which, I have read your book, and I just have to say, you have had such a harsh life up till now. I mean, even from your earliest childhood, when this book starts with your birth, it just seemed like one thing after another, all the way up until really just recently. So what I want you to tell us was, what was the hardest part emotionally about writing such a personal story?
The hardest part was getting in touch with all the memories of some of the darkest periods of my life. I mean, I was in the pit of darkness, literally, and it was painful. And, I didn't want to remember the ugly things. But in order to heal, I had to go through it. Matthew says, happy are those who know they are sick. When you know that you have a problem, you can move forward. So in the healing process, it's painful. It's like peeling back an onion one layer at a time with a knife, literally. And it's, this book helps one person get to the healing process and make that first step. And knowing Jesus Christ, it'll be a success.
Good answer. All right. So next we're going to talk about the section in your book where you talk about Doug's love scaring you. Now, remember, you don't call him Doug in your book, so you might not want to call him Doug in this interview unless you really just want people to know his name.
Well, we can know his name. He's not hiding
Okay.
anything.
Well, you changed every name, so I wanted to remind you that you had done that. I didn't know if you were trying to give him some anonymity or not. So,
his picture.
That's cool.
Cover, so,
Well, yeah, but they say everyone has a twin somewhere. So, and completely off topic, but it's true.
Yeah.
What's really bad is when they live in the same town as you, which happened to me.
That's funny.
It happened to me when I was a teenager. The guy was just a few years older than me. We looked exactly alike. His wife was in high school with me, and she kept telling me that all the time. Oh, you look just like my husband. And I thought, I knew she was married. I knew she was, we were seniors, but I knew she was married, and I thought, she's just messing with me. Well, my mother come home from work one day, just completely red-faced, because the rule, I walked to and from school, and even in high school, the rule was you came straight home after school, and you stayed there until a parent was home. And usually my mom got home before my dad, and she rode the bus to and from work, and it went right past the town shopping plaza where there was a McDonald's and a Wendy's, and she looked out the window and saw me in Wendy's, she thought, and got off the bus, went into Wendy's, was chewing this guy out left and right.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then, and would not believe him, told him to quit using that fake voice. She really thought I was trying to make it look like she was nuts. He literally had to pull out his wallet and show him his driver's license.
Wow.
To get her to leave him alone. So everyone has a twin, so Doug's twin might get in trouble. On the back cover of your book, especially if his name's David. Wouldn't that be a coincidence? So anyway, all right, enough rambling.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where we're going with this. In your book, you say what kind of, okay, ready?
Mm-hmm.
In your book, you say that the kind of love your husband has for you scares you. What do you mean by that?
Well, Doug's love is pure and real, and it's Christ-centered, which is a foreign concept, to me, because my last marriage was so toxic, and it was not centered on Christ, and there have been times when I had to, there have been times where I have a difficulty accepting it, because I have no idea what it love meant until Jesus started leading my life and led me to Doug. It scares me because it's real and I don't want to lose it. And I know I can never lose Christ's love, and I'm not going to lose Doug's either.
Awesome answer. All right, so next we're going to switch gears. So we're going to go from Beautifully Broken to writing in general. So we're going to start with this being your first book. Tell us the most surprising thing you learned.
Okay. I talk with my hands a lot.
It's okay. So do I.
My mother did
and yes,
that.
It is. And listen, it is great that you do that, because the truth is, people that are like this
are boring.
Well, what it shows is that you're not interested in your book. that you're not passionate about what you're talking about. But when they see you, you know, they know, oh, she's animated and she is, these are real answers that we're getting. She's passionate about this. It also keeps people watching. So that's all good stuff. All right. You ready?
Yes.
Awesome. Here we go. So I think it's just great that God took you from what you said was a toxic marriage and brought you someone like your husband who really does show you Christ's love. And it's certainly, I could certainly understand how, after reading the type of marriage you were in, that you would be afraid both of losing that and of knowing how to react to that. So Beautifully Broken is, and I again say this because I have read it, it's a great book, I think. And I think everyone out there who needs help healing or knows someone who needs help healing from the broken parts of their life should pick up a copy and just read through this story and see how Rhonda tells us that God has come through for her again and again, sometimes in some of these worst situations, and sometimes when she wasn't even realizing it. So from there, let's kind of turn more to the whole you as a brand new writer kind of thing, and let's learn a little bit more about you and your writing and that process. And so with this being your first book, tell us what was the most surprising thing you learned about the process of writing that you didn't know before you started this.
Well, the most surprising thing is that I have to write something, anything at all. You know, I have to hone my craft. I have to cultivate the gift that God gave me. You know, He called me to do this. So if I just let it lie stagnant, then I'm basically slapping God in the face and telling Him no. So, also, it's okay to be real on the paper. It's not judging you. It's not good to self-edit. I got a lot of anxiety when I started self-editing, and I just had to just throw that out and just be okay with writing on the paper. So.
So you're a page vomiter.
I'm what?
A page vomiter. You just vomit your thoughts onto the page.
Yeah.
All right. Next one is, this one's obviously nonfiction. Do you plan to write another nonfiction book? Do you plan to write fiction? And then after that one, we're going to go, let's skip the what genre do you plan to write. It doesn't really matter.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to throw that one out.
Yeah, me too. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm trying to peel it from behind the other one without destroying the other question.
So
I'm going to take. Say again.
Nonfiction.
Yeah. Are you going to write? This one's nonfiction. Do you plan to write another nonfiction? Do you plan to write fiction? And go ahead and, while you're doing that, tell us a little bit about. Well, no, that's later. Let's hang on to that one. So we're going to do the nonfiction question, followed by rituals. What rituals do you have that help you write? You got your notebook laying there because that was really awesome last night. You should do that again.
You show my notebook?
Yeah.
Okay. And what about the important piece of advice?
Yeah, we're going to do that one after that one.
Okay.
And then...
Besides the Bible, and then the very last one is if you could have a conversation.
Yep.
Okay, so I got 5 more questions left.
5 more questions, and then I'm going to do like a little thank you for spending some time with us. You can obviously say you're welcome in all of that, and then I'm going to tell them that they can find your book on Amazon.com. Give them the title again. Let me pull the title back over here so I don't forget the second part. And then I'm going to tell them that they can also check out, learn more about you and your style of writing from your blog. And then I'm going to ask you to tell us your blog address.
Okay.
So, and then I'll need to, after we're done, I'll need to write that down too, because I'm going to actually edit in like the words of your blog address when you say it, so that it's there for them to see and all of that too.
Okay.
Ready? Okay, here we go. Well, it's obvious that Beautifully Broken is nonfiction, and your life story obviously is nonfiction. Do you plan to write any more nonfiction books?
Yes. I want to plan. I mean, I want to write some other things about, issues that people might need counseling for. And I want to write fiction, I plan to write a series based on, I have 3 children, so I'm going to write 3 books in the series. And the first one I started, it's about a girl who lost her parents, has to raise her brother, and she turned into a musical prodigy and worship leader.
Sounds like a very interesting book, and I look forward to reading that one as well. So how about rituals? Do you got anything that you have to do that helps you write better?
Yes. Sorry. You probably have to cut that part out because I was not ready with my book.
You want to do it again? We can do it.
Yeah, please.
All right, here we go. So the burning question, the one thing I've got to know is, what rituals do you have, if any, that help make you feel more comfortable, that help you more productive as you write? I think that's one of the most interesting questions anyone can ask any author, because it's so neat how different each of our quirks are when it comes to getting comfortable to write. So what are yours?
Well, I have to pray. I have to read some scripture, kind of get the juices flowing. Scripture is really creative, it's vivid and it helps so much. And I have to have some coffee, kind of get my brain awake. And when I sit down at my desk, I don't like to sit there at the computer and type. I have a book right here that I write in, and it has to be pen to paper when I start, because it's just something therapeutic about it. And just, I'm just an old-fashioned girl, so I like to write with the pen. And yeah, I have to type it out, so that's great, but writing with the pen and the paper, just something awesome about that.
All right, get ready for the next question. You ready? Okay.
Okay.
Oh.
Lots of talking. And I'm going to talk for a living.
Yeah? So do I.
Anyway.
That's my wife. I come home, off topic again, but I come home and my wife literally is like, talk to me. And I'm like, especially on Sundays, I'm like, I am done talking. Or on days when I've got a lot of this kind of stuff to do for clients, and then with getting the conference ready and all that, there are just days when I'm like, I don't want to talk. Can't we just sit here and be together? And I mean, it's not like you and Doug. We've been married almost 28 years now. I'm like, what is left to say that we haven't already said?
You can find things to say, trust me.
Oh, we do. Trust me. She could talk about the color of the moon, but there are times when I'm just like, all I want to do is just sit here. Can we just sit here? So anyway, all right. Ready for this next one?
Yeah.
So an old-fashioned writer, you'd just be perfectly happy 100 years ago when there was no electronics. But that's
I
cool.
think so.
What's that?
Yes, I would be.
So, oh, yeah, go ahead.
I can relate to Anne on Anne of Green Gables. She, I love her dramatic flair.
So, what do you think is the most important piece of advice you would give another first-time writer? Somebody who told you they're just thinking about starting to write and try to publish. What do you think is the most important piece of advice you could give them?
I'm in the interview. Oh, sorry, interruption. One more time.
It's okay. So, what do you think is the most important piece of advice you would give to someone just like you, who is just, or just like you were, who was just starting on their process, who told you they're just now getting ready to write their first novel? What do you think? And they ask you, what's the most important thing I need to know? What would your answer to them be?
You need to write, and write some more, and don't stop. Also, you need to believe you're a writer. Um, when you wake up and can't think of anything but writing, you're a writer. And if you want to be a writer, you got to act like one every single day.
I agree with you, and I think that's even more important, that you don't just say, I want to be a writer, but that you say, or that I am a writer, but that you also say, I'm an author, that I will be published. My book will be read. People will like it. But I agree with you. That's definitely a really good first piece of advice to give
It
out.
takes faith. It takes faith. And you got to speak out your faith and live out your faith.
I agree. Next question. Ready?
Hmm.
Oh. Woohoo! Okay, so besides the Bible, which is, of course, every Christian author's favorite book,
Hmm.
besides the Bible, though, what would you say is your favorite book of all time?
Well, I have two, and I have to mention both of them. The first one is the Anne of Green Gables series, and the other one is Little Women. Those books got me through some of the darkest times as a teenager and a tween, from the ages of probably 12 till I moved out of the house. They inspired me to be a writer, even after my high school English teacher told me I should be a writer after I aced a book report on Little Women. He gave me an A plus 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 and was blown away by my the picture I wrote of the book with my emotions, and I just put myself into the book report, and he thought that was awesome. So
An A plus plus plus, huh? Just
yeah,
like Ralphie in the Christmas Story.
that was probably the highest grade I have ever achieved in my whole entire life.
Awesome answer. All right, ready for the next one?
Oh,
Well, okay then. If you could choose to have a conversation with any one author, living or dead, and who would that be and why?
I want to say I want to talk to Beth more. She's inspiring. She inspired me to dig deeper with my walk with Christ, and I can't separate my writing from my faith. It's not possible to do. Um, God called me to do it. He has this story to write. He writes his story on my heart, and it has to be shared. And she writes with a tenacity that I hope to develop more.
So you want to write with bullheadedness?
Boldness.
Hmm. Good answer. And she definitely does that. But I think she does everything in her life like that. So, but it's a good author to want to meet. I would agree with you. Okay, so now it's time for just some what we like to call last questions. They're fun questions. They're either or questions. And just to help us get to know the real Rhonda a little bit. So, questions like Skittles or M&Ms?
M&M's. Gotta have my chocolate, man.
Oh, chocolate then. Okay. Milk chocolate or dark chocolate?
Girls' best friends are diamonds and chocolate.
Okay. Milk chocolate or dark chocolate?
Milk chocolate.
Okay. Coke or Pepsi?
Pepsi.
Oh, that's the only right answer. We love you already. So,
Good.
drama or comedy?
I want to say comedy. I love to laugh.
Chick flick or action?
Chick flick.
Of
All the way.
course. Sweet or salty?
Both. I like both. But I'll let you in on a little secret.
Okay.
I went on a first date to a movie with Doug after we were married, and he cries in movies. I love it.
I'm sure he's going to love you for that one. But, it's interesting that you would bring that up because I was actually on a radio show earlier today where the discussion topic was emotions and the fact that men won't allow them to be seen and how that needs to change. And so you're blessed to have a man who is what I like to call a real man. And I have told my sons all the time growing up, real men cry. And usually, I'm going to hate doing this, usually it was after they wanted to know why I was wiping my eyes during one of those sappy chick flicks. So, and of course, I couldn't, because I want them to be emotionally stable men, I couldn't say, no, then it's just a piece of lint. I said, hey, real men aren't afraid to cry. So there you go. Thanks for spending time with us here at Christian Indie Authors Network. You have been a joy to interview, and your book really is an awesome book. So we want to thank you for taking a few minutes out of your time with us.
Well, I appreciate it so much, and you're welcome. And I'm so glad to be here and to share with others.
Well, you can find and purchase, and you should find and purchase Rhonda's book, Beautifully Broken, My Journey to a Mended Heart at Amazon.com. And you can check out her blog. Tell us again where your blog's at.
It's RhondaMarieStalb.com.
RhondaMarieStalb.com. There you go. She's got a whole website, so you can find out a whole kinds of interesting things about her. So
the book.
Okay, that cough medicine didn't work. Man, sorry about that.
Sorry.
So until next time, everybody, have a great night. God bless you, and find yourself a Christian indie author. And start with this one. Good night. God bless.
Good night.